These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with BGG article quote Al-Maliki's coalition. The food security law is unconstitutional and is nothing more than a dead letter. Kinda curious how Maliki's gang is so spun up on this law. When was the last time you heard these crooks complaining about a bad law? Never seemed to bother them before. All right, Bob the Taxman says gifting assignments, they're simple. You can do them in the middle of the night in your underwear. It's going to be really, really valuable somewhere down the road. The cool part is you may never need them, but if something happens and they drop the estate tax rate caps down as far as they say they want, or if the value goes really high, we've got a problem. You better off to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Bob the Taxman is saying these have got to be done before the RV. Remember, we can only give $16,000 per person. So if we do it after the RV, that's only $16,000 that we can give to our heirs or anybody else. Before, we have to report it on a gift tax return, which goes against the estate. That's why getting them done before the RV is so important, because the value is still small. Make lots and lots of them because it doesn't take a minute to get these things done. It's important. And note, at the appropriate time, consult your tax professionals to determine the best tax strategy for your unique situation. All right, Pimpy says there's no military that's going to handle it. The dinar exchange, the only time you ever see the military get involved with the exchange of a currency, happened in 2003 in Iraq, when they exchanged the old currency for the new currency, and it was necessary for the military to be there because at the time Iraq was not stable and didn't have the means to protect the money. The country is much further along today than it was in 2003, but as far as exchange and currency is concerned, the military doesn't need to be involved, not at all. All right, and Walking Stick via Frank26, every time the CBI, and banks have meetings, they show them the NSCN again, but they show the denominations in different colors, and they change the colors constantly in the presentation of the samples and specimens. We believe that is very brilliant in order to keep security and counterfeiting down, in our opinion. The Iraqi banks have been shown these new small category notes at least 4 times in these meetings in this year alone. Also, they discussed further study on the hologram and the security strips. They are beyond the presentation. The banks don't have the small category notes yet, nor do the ATM machines yet. Kazemi and Mustafa will know when to do that. All right, Samson article quote the 10 most powerful currencies in the world in terms of currency strength against the dollar. Number 1, the Kuwaiti dinar, $3.29, oil wealth and its presence in the global market. Number 2, the Bahraini dinar, $2.65, supported by oil products and exports. Number 3, the Omani rial, $2.06, increase in value due to the success of oil supplies. Number 4, the Jordanian dinar, $1.41. 5, the pound sterling, $1.26. 6, Gibraltar pound, $1.23. 7, Cayman Islands dollar, $1.02. 8, the euro, $1.01. 9, the Swiss franc, $1.01. 10, the US dollar, the first reserve currency in the world. All right, and Pimpy, a question for Pimpy about Pimpy's 2-year outlook, 2 years to stabilize Iraq's economy. How do you suppose Iraq's economy stabilizes without a rate change? How do you think it's not going to take 2 years? Pimpy says, what I'm saying is 2 years minimum, and that's just because the government has to be formed and stabilize. The project to create the private sector have to be started, and it's going to take a couple of years for them to even be established. That's the best case scenario. All right, Nader from the Mideast says, some people ask me what happens if they lose 3 zeros. How are they going to change their money, or what are they going to give you? If you have 25,000, you'll get 25,000 small category. That's normal. If the rate changes 25,000, becomes 75,000, that is correct. Yes. Some people asked, how are they going to change their money if they live in the United States? I have no idea because we're not international yet. The banks in the United States don't buy because I tried online. I have an account in the United States and I try to exchange money. They don't deal with Iraqi dinar or something like that. I have no idea how you guys are going to do it. I hope banks start accepting it. And lastly, we have Zig, Kuwaiti Dinar community member story. Quote, I was working in Riyadh 1989 for a developer, and Ahmed, my boss, was telling me of a rumor that Kuwait was planning to adjust their currency. Remember, Iraq was attacking Kuwait's oil wells. Well, with the help of USA and international assistance, adjustments were about to take place. I never heard the RV by name, just an quote adjustment. Their currency at the time was 0.05. So while there, I bought quite a bit of their currency, quite a bit of Raida, and I was back in Honolulu around March when my currency broker from the past called me at home.